Hey everyone! Get ready to learn my top 10 tips when applying Woodubend moldings. My number one goal is to always make sure any moldings that I add look like it could have been part of the original piece of furniture. Let's start with this Woodubend molding 1418. You can see that it doesn't quite fit, so we're going to heat it up and then we're going to trim those little wings off so that it will fit nicely on the piece. Tip 2, if you heat it up thoroughly, it'll be so much easier to cut and get a very smooth cut when you're trimming off your Woodubend moldings. Tip 3, if you use a sanding pad, or you can pull out your SurfPrep sander, you can smooth out those edges so that you won't even be able to tell that there was another piece attached. This will give you so many more options when working with Woodubends. Now I'm going to go back and cut off a little bit more on each of those wings, making sure that they're a complete mirror of each other. A little bit more sanding to mold them. Okay, let's get these on. I'm going to heat up my Woodubend again, adding my Titebond glue, and then I'm going to use my finger to spread it around. This is going to minimize the amount of oozing out you get when you press it in the furniture. I don't know if you noticed, but this piece did break. So this is tip 5. Don't worry if a piece breaks. You just glue it the same, heat set it. If there's any crack, you can come back after it dries and sand it. This brings me right into tip 6, which is I love to use Q-tips to clean up any oozing of the glue that might be seeping out of the edges. Time to add those wings. Here's tip 7. Make sure that you heat set everything for a very strong bond. You don't want those pieces to pop off. So if you heat set everything, it will be strong and secure onto your furniture. Furniture is never completely flush either, so by heat setting it, you're also going to make sure that there is no issues with gaping or air pockets. Okay, this is what we have so far. Time to get some paint on it. I ended up doing a combination of Wiesel dark mahogany in the 1-hour enamel, and then I used carbon in the chalk synthesis line in order to get this beautiful plum purple. I love mixing the 1-hour enamel and the chalk paint together because it gives you the best of both worlds. It gives you a little bit stronger paint and it gives you less shine, giving it more of a vintagey feel to it. It also gives you a lot more open time so that you can get the paint exactly the way that you want it. This is super important when working with Woodubends because you know you're going to need to get into all the little angles to make sure that it is fully covered with paint without getting all the brush strokes. Okay, back to more Woodubends. I decided that it just needed more. So I had one more of these left, and this is tip 8. Don't be afraid to get more bang for your buck by using one piece and then turning it into many more. So I'm cutting this down into 3 smaller pieces. I think this is going to add a lot more interest and detail into that design. You may have noticed that it's not purple anymore. I did a little bit of fun experimenting, and that's when I came up with needing to just add more Woodubend moldings to give it a clear direction. This leads me to tip 9. If you feel like your gut is telling you that you need to add more, go for it. Usually we hesitate when we know that we have to paint it again, But our gut is usually right and our artistic eye, so trust the process and take a deep breath and keep going. Ooh, I finally figured out my direction. Let's add 1242 to this. I want these moldings to just curve around the hardware on both sides, so I'm just getting my placement here, scoring it. This piece broke on this side, but again, you can just heat set it, put it in place, and then come back and sand it later. Now I'm just double checking to make sure that it's balanced and it works with the hardware before I move on. Now we're going to add 1245 and 1582 to the sides. This is going to give us that direction that we need to create a two-tone look. In order to curve this piece around that corner, we need to heat it up really good so it's super pliable. And then even with the glue, I'm going to mold it around that piece, still using the heat gun. And then I'm going to come back with some tape to hold it secure in place. This is our tip 10, our final tip. Using painter's tape to help while it's drying, especially if you're curving around corners. These longer pieces have a tendency to also be weighted by gravity, and so it's always good to come back and put some painter's tape. This will ensure that you don't get any sagging while it's drying. Over this last year, I have been having so much fun playing around with Woodubend Mouldings. It really allows me to tap into another level of creativity and push myself as an artist. And hopefully my customers can feel the love and that special sauce that I put into every piece. Hey, if you're new to Woodubend, I hope these top 10 tips gave you the confidence to give it a try. All the products are linked in the description below, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fun tutorials. Thanks for watching.